Yes, sir. Welcome back to HBCU, the show, the podcast. I'm one of the co-hosts, Good Rising Good People, Bobby K here, and my fellow co-host, partner in crime.
Ashamed to dream, you already know what it is.
Mm-hmm. And our
And
editor.
our lovely editor, yeah.
Wally not well, y'all. What's popping?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
So, this is going to be more of a somber episode, unfortunately. We have learned. Well, I think you guys, Hashim, if you want to do the intro to this in terms of, I don't know how to say his name, so I don't want to mess it up, but you go ahead.
Toriyama.
Yes. The owner. Yeah, go ahead.
Creator of Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. You know, he sadly passed away today or yesterday. R.I.P. Rest in peace. But he has definitely had like a major influence on, I think, a lot of different communities and cultures, as well as manga writers and the future of anime in general. I think it has affected a lot of people on social media, as well as writers have displayed that they're very sad that what's happened, and like shouting them out for like being a motivator or inspiration for them, for their actual work of art. But I think it's definitely hit the Black community, minority communities in general, Black, Hispanic, obviously Japanese, but yeah, that's one of the things. How has it affected you?
I'll go first, since I probably have the least amount to say. Obviously, as you guys have seen, if you watched our anime videos previously, I'm not someone that watches anime. I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, all the goated animes. I didn't even really know his name or anything. But what I will say is I do have a strong understanding of the influence that Dragon Ball Z has had on, like you said, on Black community, especially the connectivity that some anime like Dragon Ball Z, that's one of the pioneers and one of the forefronts of anime and animation. It can't be understated. From the action to the drama to the character development, all of these different things, especially as young men, as young Black men, watching this show as a young child and growing the connection to it, is I think it's one of the first shows that allowed young Black men, speaking from our perspective, to be able to really have an emotional tie to something of like entertainment, so to speak. And so yeah, Wale does animation. There's different people who started to do animation throughout the years and generations based off of Dragon Ball Z. So just off of that alone, let alone to any other mangas or anything else that he contributed in his life, is powerful. And so, I would like to hear it from y'all perspective more so as guys who, love Dragon Ball Z, had it in your top 5 and, are huge anime people. So, Wale is, you go first.
For me, man, I don't even know
Oh,
where
first
to
of all, I'm
begin,
sorry.
bro.
Before y'all go, what was your reaction hearing about it? Like your initial emotion, and then talk about, the influence he had on you.
Well, the first part is I was literally coming from my grandmother's funeral on my mother's side when I found this out. And it was a great family. It was like a reunion. Like, people didn't see each other for a long time. There was things I was nervous about. I prayed the morning of for things to go well. It went fantastic. It was a great night. And then I saw the text with my friends talking about it. I'm like, no freaking way. And this day of all days. But as far as like the impact and what the influence it had on me, I don't even know where to begin, bro. It's like Dragon Ball is like one of the foundations of my life, my childhood. Like my pops, who was always an onlooker of what I liked. Even when he talked about it, I was surprised when he knew the characters' names. He got me mad VHS tapes and DVDs. I wouldn't think, you would think some parents, they just see their kids like watch something like, oh, okay, all right, just a show. No, he paid enough attention to know that I liked it and bought me things for it, even when it was hard to catch it on TV. And it's one of those things where I look back on my childhood and I'm like, I was blessed to have a piece of media that conveyed great storytelling, character designs, art, animation, with so much detail, so much finesse to it. It had, and aside from all the action and explosions and fancy fighting, it had lessons about hard work, dedication, um, pushing yourself to your limits, no matter what. Enjoying the quiet moments, and then you had the awesome games, and you had other black kids. Like, even when you like, it was a time when anime kids got bullied. There's still a niche enough where you can meet with somebody. They say, "Oh, you say Dragon Ball Z?" Like, oh, oh, there you go. That's all you need to have for bonds. And it was powerful. It was profound. And then as the years go by, you see it influence media, whether people grew up with it or people even older than us still watching it and admiring it, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put this in my movie. I'm gonna put this in related to comic books, a whole bunch of stuff." You have celebrities liking it. It's just one of those things that makes me wish, like, I don't need to wish I was born earlier or later. I was born just at the right time. I have more to say, but I'm gonna give it to Hashim now.
I think it's like I found out like this morning because I go to bed early, but
Grandpa.
I was like, damn. I was like, is this real? Because you know they be doing like fake deaths of like famous people, and I think about how influential he's been, and not only to like the featured Japanese manga artists, but like my parents, just like how Wale said, my parents. Anytime I'm watching anime, or any of my brothers watching anime, it's like, "Oh, what are you watching, Goku?" I was like, "How do you think every anime is just Dragon Ball Z?" But like, at least they, out of all the animes that I've watched, is a lot, but that's the one anime they definitely know. And I obviously I think that's what got my brothers into anime, which trickled down to me. But like to go through generations of people, as well as just like piggybacking off what Wale said, like you go as a child, you at least try to turn Super Saiyan, do a Kamehameha in like the beach or in the water, Yeah, fusion, there's so many things that you find enjoyment of just through his work of art. And he's definitely touched a lot of people throughout the years and still to this day influencing a lot of people. Well.
I saw a tweet, I think it was last night, because the cycle of the news trickling throughout social media, especially on Twitter, and I saw someone tweet, it was something funny. It was kind of like Dragon Ball Z was so well respected in the hood that like motherfuckers didn't even respect it when you said like that was like your favorite anime or something of the sort, just because like it was well known that Dragon Ball Z was so respected and so loved that it's like a cheat code. It's like, oh, you watch Dragon Ball Z, you're not a real anime fan. Like, duh, like it's Dragon Ball Z. Like, say something that's more nuanced, like Bleach or My Hero or Berserk, whatever. So that alone kind of shows, because that's true. That kind of shows on its own.
I know. Like, I'm proud of you for dropping all those anime, especially.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed, Bobby. Yeah.
Well, listen. Just watch. We've done a couple episodes about animes. I know of them, even though I don't watch them. So I know. I know. So
man didn't even give him the shorter term from name. He just said My Hero. He didn't say the full man. I'm impressed.
Yeah. I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? His animes are too long for me to like actually watch, but I know of them. So it's all good. But neither here nor there. Like I said, like I think his influence, me not even being a person that watches anime and consumes it, I saw the influence as a child. I saw people who watched Dragon Ball Z, who dressed up as cosplayed as Dragon Ball Z, who dressed up as it for Halloween, even like in the hood and stuff. Like to have a Japanese man make an art form to where even black people in communities that's like impoverished, or communities that is you can't really see stuff outside of like what's around you in your bubble, to have that type of influence even on them all the way from Japan is special. That's a special connection that only someone like him can have, to me, and I have to give him the utmost respect for that alone, because there's not many things and avenues that could have done that to me.
And I'm gonna add to that, saying it paved the way for a industry like Hashim brought up before. it's something that I never would have imagined. It's even as popular as Dragon Ball Z was. I never imagined it would have gotten to this point. Flaws and all, because even when you say I don't care, I'll probably say it's my favorite anime of all time. I don't care about any of those certain anime fans that will talk down, say, "Oh yeah, I expect that from you. Your taste must be." I don't care.
Gatekeeper, the Gatekeeper's
Yeah,
anime.
yeah, I don't give a damn. It has its flaws and all. Nothing's perfect. I hate that as an excuse, but nothing's perfect. There's flaws in it. I wish that changed. It could have been much better, but the fact that I can still love it, enjoy it for even with its flaws now says a lot. All the things I say to critique it, to say this could have been done better, is just out of love. Now, it's to a point, Bobby, where there's new content for Dragon Ball called Dragon Ball Super. I don't like it worth shit.
I think you mentioned that in our
yeah.
Yeah,
it's a disgrace to Dragon Ball to me. It's hold on, let me just get this out. As the reason why I'm saying this, I'm at the point where I'm hollow with it. I don't want to indulge in it because I can't enjoy it. It's not like Dragon Ball Z to me. There's the way they handle the storytelling and characters. It doesn't have that Toriyama flair to it because he wasn't on like he was, like drawing it and all that. It's not. No matter what people say, if he was involved, it wasn't to the level of when he was actually doing the manga himself. And the only thing I can say to that positively is that it is a testament that it can still break the internet with an episode or a new series announcement or a movie announcement. That's the only thing I can say to it. It's just a testament of how powerful and relevant it is. And I can onlook it from a big distance and say, oh, new Dragon Ball stuff? Okay, cool. I'm going to be with Dragon Ball Z, but okay, all right. People know about it. It's still going strong, cool. As far as me enjoying it, I can. I'm just going to leave it at that. I try not to... Even with my friends who keep up with Dragon Ball, I'm like, don't tell me about it. I don't need to hear it. It's just not gonna resonate with me. I don't want to be negative about it. Just let it go. All right, I'm good. But I'm just glad it's still relevant to this day. I couldn't be more grateful. Goku's still my favorite character of all time in anime. So
Kevin disagreed. Kevin said Vegeta.
Hey, listen, he can like Vegeta all he wants. Prince of all bitches. I don't care.
Oh,
I'm Team Goku.
That's so crazy.
That's crazy.
I'm Team Goku.
Hey, go watch our. Hey, if you guys watching this, go watch our anime hot takes. Both videos, they went crazy. But yeah, Gashin.
That's crazy. I actually a person that actually liked Super. It's just new content. I was just excited more so that it's new content for Dragon Ball Z. The art style is definitely, it's hard to describe, but it wasn't as defined. Like the muscles, it didn't seem like Goku was Gokuing, you know. But it's still new content, which I was just like, I'll take it. Like it's not, as long as it's new, I was like, alright. Somebody get this man.
All right, so I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you guys obviously are insanely immersed in anime, right? So, do you feel like Dragon Ball Z has directly correlated to certain other animes in terms of like the animation style and the fight scenes and stuff? And which animes come to mind that you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely like a spawn from Dragon Ball Z, no question?
I'll tell you this. I think. And I don't know because I wasn't watching anime before Dragon Ball Z in the 90s. But before Dragon Ball Z, there was not like a singular power-up moment. Like you have Goku turning Super Saiyan, which is very significant. It has definitely been a driving force in a lot of other animes you see now. Where there's Bleach, there's
Naruto.
One Piece, Naruto, any Shonen Jump, pretty much anime is gonna have that type of like, all right, I gotta go beyond, and you power up type beat, which comes directly from.
But to give some background, I will say though, to give credit where credit's due, there was an anime preceding Dragon Ball a little bit. It was called Fist of the North Star, and that was one of the other grandfathers of shonen anime in particular, which helped influence parts of Dragon Ball as well. Martial arts based, strong protagonist, like manly like stature, all that stuff. It had hands in that. But yeah, like Hashim said, it was Bleach, Naruto, One Piece.
All the other memes.
Yeah. Anytime you see something with high speed movement, explosions, probably most likely inspired by Dragon Ball, the transformations, certain character archetypes, like you have the bitter ass main rival with the spiky hair and I don't care attitude, most likely inspired by Dragon Ball.
Mm.
Dumb main
Yeah.
character that likes to eat.
It's yeah.
Naruto, Luffy. I can't
Don't
say
say
Ichigo.
Ichigo.
Ichigo. I'm not saying
Don't say
Ichigo.
Yusuke.
He's an intellect.
Okay.
Nah, they're
Okay, yeah,
normal.
but
They're
there's certain things, basic shonen like traits that Dragon Ball kind of started or re-emphasized or repopularized for other series. So
I have a follow up. So, do you guys feel like if what's his name? I don't want to mess up his name. The creator with
Akira Toriyama.
Toriyama. If Toriyama never created DBZ, do you feel like you guys would have gotten into anime or would have loved anime as much as you did at a young age? Like if it never existed? Or do you think you needed that in order to really delve into this like niche type of, content?
I think. Oh, sorry, Hashim. I think for me, I would have gotten into anime, but the way Dragon Ball Z inspired me into other things like animation and the style of fighting that I like from anime, it probably wouldn't be as strong.
Mm.
It like if that makes sense. I definitely think I still would have got into anime because there was anime that came alongside with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z that I got into. Now, some of them probably wouldn't exist without it or probably without the same way, but the ones that were alongside it, yeah, yeah. There's certain aspects about anime that wouldn't have inspired me as much or I influenced my work and other things as much, but yeah, definitely.
Hashim?
I for sure still be watching anime. Yeah, it definitely influenced. Like my brothers were watching that, but I'm pretty sure they were watching other stuff, which ultimately would just I would start watching. Also, there's also Toonami that America didn't really have. Well, at a younger age, I didn't know about like websites that you could go to actually watch anime. So it's more so tapes, waiting week by week, waiting on Toonami to see Goku do some wait 20 episodes for it to beat Frieza. Spoiler alert. Um,
That was so crazy.
so bro, if you never seen that, that's on you. But I think I still
Mm-hmm.
be would watch anime. Um, I don't think much would change. Obviously, the animes that were made after would be different. I don't know who would be the pioneer for that type of thing, but I still watch it. It won't change.
I noticed a trend with both of y'all talking about DBZ and the connection with like your family in terms of Wale with your father, Hashim with your brothers, and that's really dope to like see like again like this type of animation, this type of thing that's so niche and like Wale said, like people would be mocked and considered nerds for watching it, but like this is the thing that connected you even more so with your brother or your father or your sister or cousin, whoever else you watched it with that connected you to the what am I off base or
No, you're fine. I just want to add on to
oh
that. Like it really like I love my father to death because it's one of those things where it's like it's one of those little things where you really know your parent is looking out for their child. Like my my first like exposure to Dragon Ball Z in Japanese was the first ever Broly movie, like a '90s one. My pops
mhm.
went to some shop somewhere in Brooklyn, picked it up. It was bootleg subtitled, but it was subtitled. I heard Goku with his Japanese voice. I'm like, the hell? But I was still glued to it because like I saw a big brolic ass Super Saiyan and all them fighting him, and it was amazing. I'm like, damn,
Mhm.
he went out to find this. So yeah, it just enriched my childhood. And like you said, Bobby, it just connects family members in different ways or friends in different ways. Go on. I had a moment.
I also appreciate I find because I've always been a big wrestling fan since I was a kid. Like that was my anime, and I always found some parallels between wrestling and anime in the sense of like when you were younger. Like I remember, like it's like you guys were as anime fans, like as a wrestling fan, people will mock you. Oh, the wrestling is fake. Oh, it's this, that, and the third. You're a nerd because you like wrestling, and boom, 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 boom. And then seeing it transform the narrative wise as you get older and you start to see more appreciation for it in a mainstream sense or more it's more acceptable to be a fan of this thing. And the storytelling involved and the compelling nature of it, the character development, obviously wrestling with, the choreographed matches, being in one with a person that you're, wrestling with. And that connect, I don't know, I put parallels with wrestling and anime a lot in terms of like the nature of it, the fandom, the nicheness of it, even though it's still both kind of mainstream and commercialized in a sense, especially at this point. I don't know if you guys have made those parallels, but I've always found that interesting.
I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have idols. Obviously, wrestling idols are real people,
Right.
so you can
Exactly.
actually meet them. But you always look up to them. You'll do their pose. You have people be saying, "I'm gonna Batista bomb you." Like there's different things that have affected those people that watch wrestling the same way it's affected. Yeah, you can't see me, John Cena. Ways it affected people that watch anime or
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z as well too.
And it's a trickle down too with that, because like
Sure.
when I was watching wrestling, like I obviously started off watching WWF, some ECW. I watched like some backyard wrestling like clips on like once YouTube came around and stuff, and then that trickled down. I kept watching WWE, and then I know I'm speaking a foreign language for people who don't watch wrestling, but like if anyone sees this and watch wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. Different promotions up until now watching AEW, but like the trickle down effect of watching this one thing, which was like WWF at the time, and how it trickled down to my love for wrestling for different promotions as I got older. It applies to you guys when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, and you watch that and you fell in love with that, and then you started to watch One Piece, started to watch Bleach, started to watch My Hero, started to watch this JJK, and the list goes on and on. But it all started from this origin of what Toriyama set place in the gold standard he set for anime and to where it is now. And so, that's his legacy will always be remembered. I think, even from afar.
Oh, I guess that was powerful. So, lasting thoughts, Hashim?
R.I.P. Thank you for all your work. That just sounds real like corporate.
Jesus, can you be more personable?
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Thank you for your endeavors.
But yeah, RIP. Loved all your work of art, all the people that you inspired, as well as myself, and hope it still affects the future generations.
My last thing I'll say is Dragon Ball Z, and the kind of tie. It's a sign that I'm gonna tie this with wrestling too. You can't underestimate anything really. Like the thing people ridiculed us for when we were young, look where it's at now. I've seen the women's wrestling faction. That's a big up and coming. It's probably a standing juggernaut itself now. And a lot of these female wrestlers are little baddies. I'm not gonna lie. You never would have known. Like honestly. And now you have all these people in conventions and cosplayers and celebrities. Might be Jordan repping it. A whole bunch of stuff. Don't let the perception of others that don't understand what you love discourage you from liking it and even doing things related to it. All right, this singular man made something on a piece of paper more memorable than what a lot of people can do in the last 60 years in some shape or form. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. He drew a story of a little boy traveling as a martial artist, fighting all these people, saving these people, starting a family. It's such a simple storyline. Look where it's at. So have faith in yourself. Don't let others discourage you. Just filter out the noise. Do what's calling to you, and do it and stand proud of it. And don't let it compromise your character.
Damn, I gotta follow that. Damn. I will say, find the same way that Yorihama was able to make people find beauty in anime, find beauty in something that you can connect with in the same fashion. For Hashim and Wale, it was anime growing up. For me, it was wrestling. It was basketball. It was different things. But it's not just about from the entertainment perspective, but it was from the connection to it and what the things you can learn from it. The things I learned in wrestling, I could still carry over to me as an adult. And so it's a lot of ugliness in wrestling. It's just like it could be a lot of ugliness within anime, but try to find the beauty in it and hold it true to your heart and true to yourself, and use it as a tool to better understand what you are and what you desire to be and like. And so him being able to to make that happen and do that for such a long time, rest easy. And thank you for everything that you did for everyone that you influenced.
And I guess that's it for us, y'all. So be easy.